I think that'd be a good use of them, is to give some kind of stipend to the small businesses.
I mean, I agree, but it may be that we don't have to if the federal and the state steps up. You know, it may be that we won't have to.
But these businesses are, you know, the Senate voted it down again today, the federal stimulus. This afternoon, they voted it down again. This is something we could help our businesses with now, like Tommy's downtown, it's basically out of business, and these guys are hurting. And we've got this money, and it could be spent for that, I'm sure. There's no reason why we can't. And I've got a list of the businesses, some of them's out of the square, but we've got 30 businesses in this city that is desperate.
We have more than 30 businesses in the city, and it becomes a question of who gets what and when, and who is more worthy versus who is least worthy.
Well, what I'm talking about, no franchises, no corporate businesses. I'm talking about the mom and pop stores and the mom and pop restaurants that could use the money right now. And we've even got a law firm that's not even getting business now. I had them on the list. With the courts shut down, everybody's hurting. And I just don't see why we can't take this money and give it to some of our businesses.
Well, Tim, there again, we can't go outside the courthouse square. We don't have the right to do that. No matter what we want to do, we couldn't.
That's without our
Well, we just couldn't. I mean,
well, let's help the ones in the courthouse
we
square.
would have to stay inside the confines of the courthouse square if we decided to even do it. I mean, you know. But I honestly believe that, you know, I don't think that by the time we have another meeting, I don't think we need to decide that today. We can talk about it and see and work on it and look at it. But I don't think we need to decide to do it before we have another meeting, because I think it's being a little bit premature. Like I said, the most and foremost, you're talking about gas and water and sewer and electric bills. We could forego those things of that nature and not cost us any money other than money not collected.
Sure, yeah, we control that.
You know, and that's a big help for anybody. I mean, I'm telling you.
There's I would caution against throwing caution to the wind. There's several stimulus packages on the way, both from the federal government and from the state. Loudon City has a very limited supply of revenue and funds to pull from. I can assure you, in the coming year, 2020, those revenues are going to go down. We are cratering into a recession that we can only speculate the length of. And I would urge you to look wisely at the resources you have now so that we can get through the remainder of this fiscal year as well as tackle next fiscal year. The talking point of sending checks to businesses is bright and shiny, and it makes my heart flutter. But the execution of that is messy and will cause, I predict, conflict and despair.
How so?
Again, you're picking winners and losers as to who gets what and when. And I don't know how you can fairly do that at this particular point in time without guidance from the state.
And we know stimulus packages are coming. We know that, you know.
We don't know they're coming because they keep getting voted down.
Well, you can bet your life it's going to pass. It may be about a few days or 2 weeks, but it will pass.
It may be this week or next week.
The Democrats could not afford for it not to pass. If they did, they just count off the election this year and wait on next 4 years later because they ain't got a prayer of beginning in office. They won't be in office.
All I'm pushing for is, and you can vote it down if you want to, I think we need to help these businesses downtown. They're about to go under. And we have money that could be used for that, and I don't think we should be sitting on it when they're needing it. So you can do what you want to, but I'm for supporting these businesses downtown and giving them some help. And we have the money to do it.
Well, you have a budget amendment under consideration to add $100,000, reallocate $100,000 of preliminary engineering and design to the grant fund. I would merely suggest that you, if if it is the will of the council to simply increase the grant allocation above 100,000 and to allow for more applications to the grant program as well as more recipients.
How long is the grant program process?
It's a matter of filling out the application, getting the quotes for the work. Again, these are infrastructure grants, sir. Signs, awnings, facades, basic work to build a building up to code. They're not cash grants. They're
We could get permission from the state with the situation we're in. Everybody's desperate and we're in desperate times. I'm sure that we could get permission from the state to help these businesses. There is no excuse whatsoever for this city sitting on $100,000 and these businesses starving to death.
We can make that. We can make that inquiry from the state without this body passing any sort of legislation.
Yeah, and I would.
If we did decide to do this, I would definitely talk to the state. And here's what I fear that might happen. When they do, and they will pass some kind of a stimulus bill, I can assure you that it's going to happen. But it's going to be on the basis of need. Now that you can count on that. I mean, they're going to look at that. They're going to have somebody here that scrutinizes that. You can count on it. If we buy out, if we do our own buyout, and they come in, and at this prices, they come in and look and say, well, you guys really don't have anybody here struggling. I mean, they're not going to reimburse us our money. That's not going to happen to us. So there again, I mean, I don't know. I can see your point, Tim. I can see it. I understand it very clearly. But I cannot see, I don't care who you are, unless you're already in the drink, 30 days won't put you in the drink. It just won't do it. It takes 60 to 90 days to do that. And if you're 60 or 90 days behind now, then coronavirus wouldn't have caused it. Something else caused it. Poor management, an economy, I don't know, but I can tell you that it couldn't happen that quick. Because I've been in business long enough to know you don't go down the tubes that quick,
Well, I think we're all in agreement that we want to.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, I wouldn't argue it a bit. I would not argue it a bit. But at the same time, you look at some of these people that have been waiting for a couple, 3 years to get a grant application to do some things that, not necessarily for themselves, but some projects that's for the whole city that would benefit everybody in the town and surrounding town, which the Dunbar School is one of them. If they can ever get this thing going, it'll be something to be proud of. The whole county can be proud of it. And it's not for any one individual, it's for everybody, So I think that's what the grant is trying to do, It wants to help everybody. And I don't know. I mean, I know we can't go outside the confines of that, and I don't believe the state would approve it. Under no circumstances, I don't think they would, but we can ask. I mean, I'm not above asking, but.
Tammy, do you have any comments that you want to add?
That would be my only concern is could we use the grant for that? I mean, I'm all about helping our businesses. I know they're struggling and they're hurt downtown. This has got to be affecting them. It's affecting all of us. So, but yeah, I want to make sure that the state's going to allow it. But I don't have a problem with us helping out our businesses downtown because it's technically their money. So it's what can they use it for? But I don't know how the grant was written to start with. So maybe look at that grant, see what it was written like to start with, get with the state.
Well, that's the way it's structured right now for improvements to their building.
And the city of Loudon is not the only courthouse square community in the state of Tennessee, so we would cluster together and just seek mutual advice.
So does everyone feel comfortable just inquiring about it and getting more information about it and not making a decision on that tonight?
I'll withdraw my motion for lack of support.
Okay. I mean, I think it's a good thing worth discussion, but I don't know that we can.
I think we need to discuss it more and find out if we can get the money, actually, two different ones in downtown,
This is,
in that square.
gentlemen.
Instead of just a build or a reconstruction sometime.
Gentlemen and lady,
Loopholes in these types of situations, and if we can find
Sure.
some form of loophole in it that'll help the businesses now. I mean, there may not be. It may be totally for just remodels and construction, but if there's a loophole, we can assist them when they're struggling financially. I have no problem with that at all.
I agree.
Jack, how are you with that?
I'm good with it, yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
I think it's a fine first blush sentiment towards what's going on now. But be mindful, this is your first meeting since all this started, and I would encourage you to find stamina and solidarity, because this is the first of many meetings you'll be going through this process. And we need to be in this for the long haul. Everything is changing every day. The ground will solidify under our feet in the coming months, if not weeks, and we'll be able to better wrap our heads around this and better generate an appropriate response, not just from the federal level or the state level, but also from the local level. We'll do what we can.
Okay. Well, Councilman Brewster, your motion was just to add it to the agenda and discuss it.
We already discussed it.
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't make a motion to approve it or anything, you just.
No, here.
So we discussed it.
I went around today and I talked to some businesses that's really in dire straits, I guess you call it right now. And I played with this for a few days, knowing we've got this $100,000 sitting there because we're not going to use it on the Riverwalk. And the way the governor talked today, basically municipalities are going to have to be on your own and make your own decisions. So this is just a list I come up with, these mom and pop stores. We got Paul's Tires, Outlaw Trailers, Tommy's Grill, Greer's, Ford Nichols, Little Mama's, Southeast Title, her business is down. Go TikTok's, Hamp's Barbershop, the other barbershop downtown, I don't know the name of it. We got 2 dental offices. Now, this afternoon, the governor shut the dental offices down except for emergencies. We got Lyric Theater, Jay's Place, the Muffler Shop out in the West End. We got 3 car dealers, Cogdell Dodge, I know their business is down. Top Q Nails, and these I'm naming are Loudon County residents and Loudon County owned businesses in Loudon City. The Pet Grooming Place over here, Taste of Texas, Sons of Smoke, West End Flower Shop, Stop and Shop, Brewster Service Group, WLNT Radio, Fort Loudon Equipment, Carl's Drive-In, Annabelle's Emporium, and Cobb's Auto Parts. So that's 32 businesses
Yeah.
that we could, in my mind, we could be helping right now.
Well, without approval from the state, there's probably not more than 5 of them that you've named that we could do anything for today, right now. I'm telling you.
With the way it's set up.
I wouldn't approve it, I couldn't approve it because that's not the way this bylaw's written. And I would never approve it. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Well,
I mean, we had to fight to get the Dunbar School placed in and go to the state and plead to have it added to him, to be able to get it into this.
And I think.
And it was very close to the downtown area, but.
And if you remember, I don't think they included that service station there either.
Right, they
went around
excluded it.
They went around
sure
it.
did.
So.
Yeah.
Well, Ty could get information from the state and see, or Johnny, your committee could, and look, with this corona going on, can we amend this? Can we use it for other things?
Well, there again, the state's in recession for what, 2 weeks?
To June 1st.
Yeah, it's for maybe a month or 2. And you won't get a decision until they come back. I can tell you, you will not. And there again, it's a wait and see, Tim. It will have to be. It can't be anything but that.
Okay.
I withdraw my motion.
You don't have to withdraw.
No, we discussed it. We added it to the agenda.
But we're just not, we can't move to do that tonight the way you want it done. Tim, it just can't happen.
I'm not saying tonight. I'm saying let Loudon take the lead. We can show these other municipalities, we're gonna take care of our business. If it's a simple phone call to the state, hey, we've got this $100,000 in this courthouse square grant, can we use it somewhere else?
Well, the way you look at that, this money is generated inside the courthouse square. That's where it comes from. That's where it has to go back to if it's kept. If it doesn't go back to there, it would go to the state of Tennessee. And that's it. I mean, Cogdell Dodge, They're a good asset to have here in Loudon. So is all the other businesses you mentioned, but they do not contribute to the downtown fund. They don't contribute to it. It's a tax dollar based on what's downtown.
Anything that the government would pass stimulus funded, it would be spread out all over the city.
Right, exactly,
Just
right.
be-
And the state is very, very cautious about what you do with that money and how you allocate that money. And they'll come down on you very hard if you don't allocate it in the right way.
Well, I'm gonna ask, is there anything else that needs to be added to the agenda? Or can we adopt the agenda as written?
I make a motion, we adopt it as written.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Brewster. Have a second. Vice Mayor Dixon seconds. So all those in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. We'll go with, I'm gonna skip citizens' input. There's no one here really to make any input on that. So we'll go with the first item. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from February 24th, 2020.
Mr. Mayor, I have reviewed the minutes from the February 24th meeting, and they appear accurate to me.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Fried. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second the motion, sir.
Thank you. Have a motion and a second. Any questions, any corrections, changes to the minutes? All those in favor, say,
Councilmember Bivens still with us?
Councilmember Bivens? Yes.
Okay.
Just want to check.
Okay. Do you think we should be making roll call votes on these
Well,
items?
I guess, you mind if I go ahead and address that?
Sure.
Now, real quickly, I just want to point out that this meeting is an open meeting. It's not being conducted in accordance with Governor Bill Lee's Executive Order 16. Tonight, we've been trying out some technology solutions that would allow us to implement that order going forward if it becomes necessary, and then this body determines that it's essential to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Loudon. But tonight, this is an open meeting. It is open to the public, so we're not doing roll call votes. We're allowing, we're very fortunate to have Redskin Radio here broadcasting this live, and we have Councilmember Bivens participating by phone, but all of that is allowed under the current Tennessee Open Meetings Act law, and so for that reason, we are not doing all of the things that are required by Executive Order 16, and we're conducting this as a normal open meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Attorney Fried. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next is the fuel bids for February 27th, 2020.
Mr. Mayor, we received 4 bids for fuel this month. Low bidder was Rogers Petroleum with the amount of $12,333.75.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the fuel bid?
I'll make a motion to approve the bid.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Councilman James. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Next is the item on the agenda is ordinance for first reading. It's an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the City of Loudon, Tennessee, amending Chapter 6, supplementary regulations applying to several or to all districts by adding an additional section 14.618, development standards for recreational vehicle parks.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. A property owner here in the city of Loudon was solicited by a developer for an RV park. This has been presented to the Planning Commission for its review. There's no objection. And what I'm talking about is a regulatory framework to allow RV parks to operate inside the city of Loudon. If you choose to adopt this ordinance, it would put guidelines in for how such RV parks are to be constructed and maintained. And it will then, once we have the regulatory framework in place, allow a developer, if still interested, to rezone the property to allow for this use and pursue this investment in our community.
The ordinance was attached to the packet that was emailed out, so everybody had a chance to look over it. Any questions from what was listed there in the ordinance? If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve it on first reading.
I'll make a motion to approve it on the first reading.
Second.
Motion is second. Okay, we'll ask for a roll call vote. Was there any questions first? Okay, ask for a roll call vote, please.
Thank you. Councilmember James?
Aye.
Councilmember Brewster?
Aye.
Councilmember Bivens?
Aye.
Councilmember Dixon? Mayor Harris?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is for first reading is amend the 2019-2020 fiscal year budget.
Yes, sir, I'll take these one at a time. The medical fund planning increase of $86,736, that's in keeping with your resolution of assurance of adequate funding of the health plan for the remainder of this fiscal year. Together with that is a courthouse square fund reallocation. This was alluded to earlier, a courthouse square fund reallocation of $100,000, originally dedicated to preliminary engineering and design of a river walk, but because of timing issues related to riverfront development, it's been delayed, and we thought we have been solicited by a number of downtown businesses for use of these dollars. If all the solicitations mature into full grant applications, then most, if not all, of this $100,000 would go towards these 5 or 6 grants that we feel are in the hopper.
Okay. Okay, so you've heard the two budget amendments. To have a motion to approve the budget amendments.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendments.
Can we have a motion to have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, thank you, Councilman James. We have a motion and a second. Any questions about the amendments? Okay, all those, we need a roll call, I'm sorry.
Councilmember Dixon?
Aye.
Councilmember James?
Aye.
Councilmember Bivens?
Aye.
Councilmember Brewster?
Aye.
Mayor Harris?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, do we need to set any kind of public hearing for those? Let's do 6:20 and 6:25.
Thanks, sir.
Next item on the agenda is resolutions. First resolution is authorizing the continuing vehicle replacement program of city vehicles.
Yeah, there are two 2019 Ford F-150 trucks ready for trade-in. There's been no additional charges on these vehicles with the Ford government vehicle trade-in program.
Okay.
Motion.
I have a motion from Councilman Brewster. Do I have a second?
Second the motion.
Second by James. Okay, any questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next resolution is authorizing the Recreation Department utility trailer to be considered surplus and replaced.
This came up during your workshop. There is a new trailer contained in your budget for Parks and Rec. What Director Harrell is simply trying to do is do business in Loudon at Loudon Trailer by trading in an existing trailer for a new trailer there. It would be a net benefit to your budget. You're saving about $500. And I'm sorry, $2,500. And but to authorize that, you would need to declare the existing trailer surplus.
Okay. Have a motion to authorize the trailer to be considered surplus.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next item for resolution is approving the paving contract for Highland Avenue with APAC Atlantic Incorporated.
Yes, at last month's meeting, you approved the low bid for Highland Avenue. This is dotting our I's and crossing our T's with TDOT to put us in line to receive our 80% of funding for this project. We're seeking your approval of the contract, the summary and signature pages of which are in your packet. That's 3 pages in length. The full contract is here. behind you on the dais. It's about 280 pages, and we have a full copy for your review if you'd like to see it. But we want to get this contract approved, executed, and in the mail back to TDOT so that it can move forward this spring during paving season.
I'll make that motion
Yeah, it's long overdue.
quickly.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Brewster, second by Councilman James. Any questions about this resolution? I think we'll all be happy to see it
Bring it on.
started. All right. Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, department reports. We'll just see, Chief Rebecca, you have anything?
No, sir.
But you, Jason, you have anything? Steve? Nope. All right, got a slim crew here tonight. Council member reports. Tammy, we'll start with you.
Had a few complaints on Sandtag this past week. I know that they're struggling as well as everyone else with all these things that are going on. So we're going to hope it's that, hope they can get it straightened back out. So just some muddy road issues. Had some trucks get stuck up there. So hoping that will get a little better as we go on. Thank you all for letting me join this way. My family are acting out of abundance of caution tonight, so we possibly could have come in contact with someone who has the virus. So we are, like I said, acting out of an abundance of caution. And I'm still recovering from surgery, so I really appreciate you all letting me join this way. So but that's the only report that I've got.
Okay, thank you. I think practicing caution is the way to go, you know.
Right.
Okay, thank you. We wish you the best. Vice Mayor Dixon, you have something from Planning Commission?
Yes, Chris Frills came to the Historic Zoning Commission, and he is changing the awning on the old Dr. Blair Harrison building to show what type of restaurant he will be having in that facility. And that was approved by the Planning Commission. And then the two signs over the Chamber of Commerce and the Loudon County Education Foundation, they've also going to change the awnings on their sites also. And then Mr. Jimenez of Collins Street got a variance for a dwelling on that street. And then there was 5 lots of subdivision of Matlock Bend, which had been approved. I think we done that one. But the Legacy Park letter of credit got extended, $150,000 for improvement, be completed by August.
Yeah, they're expecting that to be built out by August.
On Legacy Park, Tim,
Yes,
have we already accepted that? Because of the street?
not the final.
So they'll have to
This-
fix the street before we accept
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
All it's got is what, this top, we don't have a top coat.
It's got a binder on it.
Binder on it,
They will be
yeah.
finishing that
Yeah.
at a later date.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
And if
they
they
got
don't,
approved.
we'll hold money.
And then, of course, we've already talked about the RV park. That was approved by the Planning Commission to come before this body.
Okay, we approved that tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Vice Mayor Dixon. Johnny, you have any report from the courthouse square? Y'all haven't met about anything, have you?
No, I don't know that, as far as I know, Ty's only got one set of turned in, that's from the church school.
Yeah, there'll
He
be
may have
more.
some more I wasn't aware of.
There'll be more coming, I think, in the pipeline. Like you said, there's been several requests. They just
Yeah.
got to fill out the forms
Yeah.
and get it submitted, so. Okay. Councilmember Bruce, do you have anything from Recreation Advisory?
No, but I want to elaborate on what Tammy said on the landfill. The problem they had is all their employees walked out on them. So they're desperate for help right now.
Okay. All right, closing comments. This is any kind, we'll go around the room, any closing comments? I want to I would like to see us make positive closing comments. I'm sure there's employees or departments or something we can brag on while we're here. I want to brag on Chip Lynn for stepping up and doing what he does for not only our council meetings but he does it for all the sports teams, and he's a voice here in Loudon that we really appreciate, Chip, all your efforts for what you do for our city and our community. Vice Mayor Dixon, you have anything, closing comments?
Yes, I'd like to thank Mike Brubaker for being the leader in our community and stepping up about this, the emergency we have now. And I think he's taking control of the lead of what is going on in our community as far as the emergency management. And I appreciate him and what he does.
I think Manager Ross made him the point person, hadn't you, Manager Ross, for this?
Yes, Chief Brubaker has been attending regular conference calls with state agencies at the 911 center.
Thanks, Chief. Okay. Johnny, you have any closing comments?
I would like to, yes, I do have a comment. I'd like to thank everybody in this room, with Chief Brubaker especially, Manager Ross. You guys have been on top of this, and you didn't take a lot of things for granted. You didn't wait till it got out of hand and you started planning. And that's the way you win a war. You don't wait till it's over and then start fighting. And that's what we're in. I mean, you can. It's a silent enemy, but it's there. And unfortunately, it's silent, and it's silence. You can't see it. You don't know it's there. But I think compared to other areas and other cities in this state, we've done a fantastic job in what we've done so far. And I'd like to thank all of you.
Thank you with that, yeah. Thank you. Councilmember Brewster, you have any closing comment?
No, I don't think so.
You good? Okay, appreciate everyone. Oh yeah, Tammy, sorry. You have any closing comments, Tammy?
Let's just keep all of our frontline guys in mind. They're out there every day. Let's be kind to our trash guys. They gotta deal with all our young people.
Yeah.
Just don't know if you've seen it. So
Right, yep.
keep it backed up and tied up. So stay clean on them.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Or Manager Ross, you have any closing comments?
Yeah, I just want to thank the staff for their input and close coordination on changes we're implementing. We're trying to get ahead of this curve. We are taking each and every department down to skeleton staff on site. We're asking that rotations be put in place. There's no reason for us to gather and cluster if it defeats the purpose of social distancing. We have A teams and B teams that will be in a constant rotation. We're asking our employees who are sheltered in place at home to lead by example and model behavior for the rest of our community, because by sheltering in place, we defeat this thing. We defeat the invisible enemy.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, thank you. This meeting is adjourned.